I want to take you back to a hot summer day in July of 2015 and tell you about the day that I saw the light. My college roommate, Savannah, who had worked as a successful celebrity makeup artist, traveling the world with the likes of Alicia Keys, Paula Abdul, and Zendaya, decided with her husband that they would relocate from New York City to Atlanta and chase the American dream. They wanted to own a home and give their children a life they never knew growing up, like being able to play in a backyard and ride a school bus to school. So they moved to the Peach State. And one day, I visited their home. And as she and I sat in her kitchen catching up about all the good times we had in college and laughing at pictures of the many wrong outfit choices we selected, she offered me a glass of water. And when she opened her refrigerator door, I could immediately see from the front to the back. As she turned around, she now saw the shocked look in my eyes. And she stood there, pregnant with her second child, and burst into tears, telling me that she knew what I was thinking, and that while she always tried to keep meals and snacks in the house for her 2-year-old son, often they didn't have the money to. And what I remember most about that day was this bright light shining in my eyes from this empty refrigerator. This is the day that hunger became deeply personal to me. I was shocked that one of my friends, someone who had defied all the odds, was the face of hunger. Savannah was college educated, well-traveled, had led a successful career, and married the love of her life. She simply fell on hard times, which could happen to anyone. Perhaps what hurt worst is that she was too embarrassed to tell me that she didn't have food for her unborn child and her young son. Her plight is not uncommon in this country. Nationwide tonight, 1 out of 7 people will go to bed hungry. We have 42 million people living in food insecure households. And what's worse is that every month, like my friend, they have to make a critical decision, having to choose between paying for bills and paying for food. This is a problem. No one should ever have to decide if food is a necessity in their household. Yet they do, and it's happening every day. In fact, I believe that just like me, each of you knows someone who is or has experienced hunger at some point in their life, whether you know it or not. Fighting hunger has always been an important cause to me. I've been invested in the fight since 2013 when I first moved to Atlanta. While driving through downtown, I stumbled across an area of hundreds of people outside. And I noticed that many of them were sitting on the sidewalk eating. And something shook me to my core in that moment. And I was moved to do something. So I created an event called Sunday Soul, an opportunity for members of our homeless community to enjoy a delicious Sunday dinner, paired with some good old school R&B music, like Aretha Franklin, the Jackson 5, Marvin Gaye, Patti LaBelle, James Brown. You know, the music made perfect for a Sunday afternoon, like Al Green's Love and Happiness. And I remember my first feeding like it was yesterday, Sunday, October 20th, 2013. We served a spaghetti dinner, simple, with corn, garlic bread, and a salad. And we sang, and we danced, and for that moment in time, people forgot about their current circumstances. On that day, we fed just 100 people, but over the years, that number would grow to well over 400. And while I was proud of the work that we were doing, I wanted more for those that we served. So I created the Sunday Soul pop-up restaurant. And I rented tables and chairs and linens, and I brought out fresh flowers and allowed our guests to sit down and dine with dignity as they enjoyed a 5-course meal that they ordered from a menu. And I took this initiative all across the country to cities like Washington, D.C., New Orleans, and Baltimore. And it was when a video from one of these events went viral that I had my aha moment. As I scrolled through the thousands of comments on Facebook, amongst the praise, there was one reoccurring question: which restaurants donated the food? Sadly, that answer was none. Reflecting on my own time working as a waitress and a bartender throughout undergrad and graduate school to pay for college, I knew that restaurants indeed had food. So where was it? As I started to research food waste, I was blown away at the amount of perfectly good food that we throw away in this country while millions of people go hungry. Every year in the US, we waste 72 billion pounds of good food. This is enough food waste to fill a 90,000-seat football stadium to the brim at least once a day, every single day. Let me put it to you another way. We waste approximately 1 pound of food per person per day. I want you all to think about that waste for a moment. And now, think about all the people that are going hungry. Now my eyes were open, and I started to see food waste everywhere that I went. And we've all seen it. We've been at a restaurant, attending a dinner party, or we all know, a conference at a hotel. And we see all this extra food. Have you ever wondered what they were going to do with it? My hypothesis was that it was ending up in a dumpster. So I started to ask a question everywhere I went. What do you do with your extra food at the end of the night? In restaurant after restaurant, the answer was always the same. We throw it away. One night, after leaving a restaurant for dinner, I witnessed a man digging through their dumpster, trying to find a meal. Can you imagine being that hungry? Our food insecure living on the streets have become so desperate that in lieu of seeking out soup kitchens with limited hours, they now know that they can head to the dumpsters of our favorite restaurants. Hunger is a threefold problem. It's social, it's economic, and it's environmental. On a social level, we have 42 million people going hungry, including 1 out of every 5 children. And this is affecting their ability to learn in school. We have seniors receiving just $16 a month in food stamp benefits, struggling to keep food on the table. And did you know that hunger affects crimes too? Studies have shown that people turn to crimes like shoplifting in order to provide food for their families. On an economic level, we spend $218 billion a year to produce, transport, and dispose of food that we never eat. And it's a legitimate environmental issue. According to the EPA, food waste has increased 50% since the 1970s, now encompassing 27% of everything in our landfills. And as this food sits, it gradually rots and produces harmful methane gas, leading to global climate change. So we're wasting all of this food. It's costing us billions of dollars, and it's bad on the environment. Yet people are still going hungry. We literally have 2 problems that can solve each other. What if we use all of this good food going to waste to solve hunger? There are tons of resources out there, from our food banks to our soup kitchens to the ongoing efforts that we see in the grocery store. Yet the fact remains that 72 billion pounds of food are going to waste and millions of people are going hungry. How can we tap into this good supply of food and support these efforts? I started to ask businesses another important question. Why don't you donate your surplus food? And what I found is that they were afraid. They were afraid of being sued, but more so, they were unaware of the federal protection already offered to them under the Good Samaritan Act, passed by President Bill Clinton in 1996, which offered these businesses protection for willfully donating their food in good faith. We have to lose the fear in the hunger fight. Because in the US, not only is it legal, it's profitable. In an effort to combat food waste, 2 years ago, a new tax law was introduced. It's called the PATH Act. It allows businesses to write off up to 30% of their annual income for their food donations. So what this means now is, not only can these businesses improve our communities, they can improve their bottom line. So now that we're past the fear of liability, and we know that donating this food makes good business sense, if hunger isn't a problem that is caused by scarcity or the unwillingness of businesses to donate food, why are people still starving? I have come to see now that hunger is actually a logistics issue, and that in order to solve it, we must first eliminate the access barriers that are preventing people from getting food? How can we feed people as we have fed landfills for the past century? That answer is technology. With technology, we could do some amazing things, right? With our phones from the palm of our hands, we could watch our favorite TV shows, listen to music, get a ride, order groceries. Surely, if we could use technology to meet our future husband or wife, we could use it to fight hunger. We can use it to help get excess food from businesses to establish distribution points, like food banks, faith-based organizations, and even directly to families in need. Tech innovation in the food waste space can alleviate hunger and global warming at the same time. In France and New Zealand, wasting food is illegal. Businesses are actually fined for not donating their edible surplus food to cause organizations. And when they do donate it, they're using technology to track it. I believe so strongly in this approach that technology will solve hunger that I've started a company to do just that, so that we can solve the food logistics problem. A company dedicated to developing the technology necessary to automate and manage the surplus food supply chain process that ensures the delivery of this food from businesses that have it to organizations and people that need it, all while allowing businesses to track and account for their donations, so that people like my friend Savannah and the millions just like her family always have access to food. By working with nonprofit organizations, we match them with businesses with surplus food to donate, and we deliver it directly to them so that they now can distribute it right in their community. It's that simple, and my favorite part of the process is that everybody eats. If we can reduce food waste by just 15%, we would save enough food to feed 25 million people every day, 3 meals a day. In a country as rich as America, no one should go to bed hungry. What's been done has been proven not to be enough. With technology, we could change this. We could help businesses save money by redirecting their surplus food to communities in need, by eliminating the transportation barriers and handling the logistics of getting food from businesses to people. If we can focus on food waste as the next big revolution, then perhaps we could solve one of our greatest world issues. Nationwide tonight, 1 out of 7 people will go to bed hungry. And while many of us will leave here and go and grab something to eat, the reality is that tomorrow morning, 42 million people are going to wake up hungry and not knowing where their next meal is coming from, including 13 million children and 7 million seniors. This food that is going to waste is so much more than just waste. It is power. It is change. It is treasure. It is the ability to feed a hungry child, which could be the difference to that child learning in school and passing that test. It's allowing our seniors to never have to make a decision between paying for their prescriptions and paying for food. It's seeing a reduction in crimes committed to feed one's family. It's lifting the financial burden off of people that are already living on the marginal poverty line. I believe that this food will give people hope in their darkest hour, because this food is social change. We have the abilities, we have the resources, the know-how, and the technology. The time to eradicate hunger is now, and I'm inviting you all to join me in this fight. If you are a restaurant owner or you work in the food service industry, do not be afraid to give. And if you're a private citizen, just like me, don't be afraid to ask the question the next time you're dining out or attending that hotel conference. What do you do with your extra food at the end of the night? And if you find that they throw it away or that they are looking for a solution, please connect them to me. Together, we can solve this problem, because with technology, hunger has met its match. Thank you.